So, Deanna,
Yes, Jane.
we're both chaplains.
Yes.
I'm a retired chaplain, and you are
In about my 5th year of chaplaincy.
fifth year.
Yes.
How did you discover you were called to be a chaplain?
Definitely didn't picture myself being one until I was in seminary at the time, and part of our requirements were to do an internship. So I went into it not knowing anything about chaplaincy, just knowing that I thought it would be the worst summer of my life. This unpaid internship, full time, you're working 40 hours or more a week. I think for me, I always thought I could go into social work or into the ministry. And so this kind of profession where you are listening to people and getting their stories, and it's about compassionate presence and companioning with people. And I think I went in thinking I needed to have all the answers, but turns out you just have to have some really good questions. That gift of being able to be with people who are going through really hard things and to witness the holy, the sacred, the divine coming in and doing its work when people really need it. It's the most sacred moments I've ever had in life. And I think I was missing that in my studies. When I was just in academics studying religion, I wanted to know how it really makes a difference in people's lives. It was just a beautiful thing that I feel like I stumbled upon and was really hard because it brings up all of your stuff too, but for me it was a beautiful unfolding path I just had to keep following. And a pastor of mine said, a call is not like some message from God. He said for him, he went into ministry kicking and screaming. And I feel like that was more my call. It's like, I don't want to do this. But then it was this beautiful thing.
You chose to go to seminary.
I did.
Now,
yes.
what led you there? You could have been in accounting or...
I studied world religions in undergraduate, and I loved just pursuing the study of religion. And I did have a volunteer year through the church, and where I worked in Kenya for a year. And so seeing the church at work in the world, it was a really positive experience for me. And so I felt called to go to seminary. So I grew up in the Presbyterian Church, USA.
That's the same as me.
Yes, we have that.
Yeah.
My family was kind of polarized in terms of their belief system, but they found that the Presbyterians were nice and moderate, they thought. So they were like, let's go to
moderate.
that church. Yes.
Okay, I just
Mainline
curious,
Protestant.
what were the two polars?
So, well, my father was, I would say, non-religious. And then my mom had a mixture of Baptist, sort of evangelical on one branch of the family, and then also a Church of Christian Science. She really tried to play religion like low-key. Never thought I would end up going into the ministry. But did you stumble upon this career as well, or?
I wanted to be a nun. So I always knew that I was going that way. I went the other way.
So that was.
I became a marketing director for a real estate developer.
Not real call.
No,
it was just a path.
It was, did it for a law firm too. And then I said, no, you know what, Jane? I said, I need to get a God job.
Stat.
Stat. It was my mother, the least church-going or religious person, that changed my theology in one of the deepest ways, which was I was telling her about a Young Life meeting that I was at, and there's one way kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she stopped me and she said, Jane, you really think the children and, other people in other countries that don't really believe in Jesus, you think that there's really only one way? Yeah. And I went, oh, yeah, she's right. And that was in high school. That's when that went that way. So I didn't have a problem with thinking there was different ways. And I love hearing about the ways.
Yes.
Don't you?
Yes,
I mean, other ways
absolutely.
of perceiving reality and connecting with God.
Yeah.
I just find it fascinating.
I think we get that gift as chaplains or spiritual care providers to,
It's like you embrace
witness.
it.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, that's bad, or
Yeah.
no, they don't know what they're,
Yeah, we don't have to stay in our Presbyterian box.
or whatever box we have picked to pursue our faith. It can widen.
So we'll have to share more stories another time.
Yeah.